Hey YouTube. Well, we've been talking a lot about chemtrails, which is just contrails, right? But analysis of the air, and if you look upon the patterns which is used in the so-called aerosol spraying of our atmosphere, you will find that these ingredients are found in air samples, and this is the toxicity, or what is above what is supposedly to be a natural exposure to these elements, which is all metal. So let's start with aluminum, and we can already see there, and they whine about CO2, right? Yeah. Well, let's start with aluminum and see what kind of what symptoms are. Confusion, muscle weakness, bone pain, deformities and fractures, seizures, speech problems, slow growth in children. Complication may include lung problems, nervous system problems causing difficulty in voluntary and involuntary actions, bone diseases, brain diseases, disorders, anemia, impaired iron absorption. Iron absorption is very key for your bloodstream in order for you to get the right amount of oxygen to your cells in your body. Also known that nervous system problems causing difficulty in voluntary or involuntary actions. Here I'm talking about Alzheimer's, which is associated with an accumulation of aluminum, which is on an explosive rate in people, even in young people. That people that is only 30 years old, they contract Alzheimer's, which is it's a newer disease, and it's actually man-made disease. It is destroying the nervous system. Aluminum oxide, which is very, very difficult for the human body to break down. It is actually impossible for the human body to break down. It can only be excreted by extensive body cleansing. Aluminum is, even if it's oxidated, still conductive electrically, which means we are a battery and our nervous system are functioning with the help of electricity. We are an electric body, and they make short circuits in our brain. And aluminum oxide have the hardness on the mole scale, which they measure hardness of minerals and rock. And we know diamond have 10. I can tell you that aluminum oxide have 9, so it's extremely hard material. It is extremely hard for you to get out of your system, and it's causing Alzheimer's. Then we can go to the other product that is found in the air samples, antimony, and let's get that one over. Antimony poisoning, harmful effects upon body tissues and functional ingestion and inhaling certain compounds of antimony, such as poisoning, resembles arsenic poisoning. Antimony poisoning has resulted of drinking acidic fruit juice contain antimony oxide dissolved in the glaze of cheap enamelware containers. Toxicity can also result in repeated exposure of antimony in medications such as tartar emetic, antimony and potassium tartrate used to induce vomiting, and treatment of helminthic and fungal infestations. The industry of use of antimony has not appeared to be associated with serious occupational poisoning. It is believed that the toxicity of antimony and of arsenic is due to the fact that, in combination with enzymes, the organic catalysts of cells, they interfere with cellular metabolism. When your cells are regenerating themselves, you always, after the age of 25, you are stepping down a little bit, meaning you are degrading in terms. So when you are exposed to antimony in these high amounts as 63.3 times more than you should be exposed to, there is absolutely a reason to be alarmed, because they are destroying your cell functions, and your cells, well, that is pretty much what makes up the composition of you. So if they can destroy your cell metabolism, well, they are destroying you. Arsenic, which is 418 times above what it's supposed to be. Acute exposure, cholera-like gastrointestinal symptoms of vomiting, often bloody, and severe diarrhea may be rice, watery, often bloody. These patients will experience acute distress, dehydration, often of hypovolemic shock. Chronic toxicity insidious may manifest in classical dermatitis, hyperkeratosis with a classical dewdrops of dusty road, appearance or theoretical neuropathic, usually a painful symmetrical paresthesia with stoking glove distribution, commonly hepatic and renal damage, fingernail whitish lines, mesh lines that looks like from a traumatic injuries. And we can go back one term here and let's just have a little look at it if it wants to go back. That would be nice. And arsenic was 418 times above limit what we should be exposed to. Arsenic is found naturally in apples, the seeds of apples. And lots of people are drinking apple juice. So we have sort of a resistance built up to arsenic. But when it's put into the atmosphere with 418 times above limit, we're not any longer talking about resistance to arsenic. We are actually talking about we are being poisoned. And here's just some examples of what an arsenic poisoning symptoms will look on your skin. So here we see a map. All these links will be in the box below, so you can go read it yourself and find out what you want to find out. What are the symptoms of barium exposure? Barium exposure is 5.3 times higher than it should be. Kidney damage, respiratory failure and death. Dysfunction, paralysis, muscle twitching and elevated blood pressure. So that we know is in the chemtrails. That is a main ingredient in the chemtrails. Then we have cadmium, emphysema, fatigue, headache, vomiting, anemia, lack of sense of smell, kidney dysfunction, reduced bone mineral density, and that is why we have an explosion of osteoporosis as an example. Reduced bone mineral density, neuropsychological impairment, meaning you're not functioning mentally, increased risk of prostatic cancer, and the explosion of cancer in our daily life is protracted. Well, you know, in the old days, cancer was really not an issue at all. People died of other causes, but there was not cancer. Well, once in a while, people, even in the 18th century, developed cancer, but that could be from other reasons. But now we're being induced to a product in the atmosphere which is 6.0 above what it's supposed to be. And osteoporosis is a big issue. And prostatic cancer is also a big issue. And then we have chromium, which is 6.4% above what it's supposed to be, or 6.4 times above what is legal in our environment. Intense gastrointestinal irritation and ulceration and corrosion, epigastric pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, vertigo, fever, muscle cramps, hemorrhagic diathesis, toxic nephritis, renal failure, intravascular hemolysis, circulatory collapse, liver damage, acute multisystem organ failure, coma, and even death depending on the dose. So we are constantly being bombarded with 6.4 times above legal limit of chromium in our atmosphere, which you're breathing straight into your lungs. And what is your lungs function? That is to assimilate what is in the atmosphere, put it into your bloodstream, and transport it through your heart, so transport it through to your entire body to give your cells oxygen that it needs to function. Copper. Abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, yellow skin, chest pains, chills, cough, fever, generalized weakness, headache, metallic taste in mouth. You got anemia, burning sensation. You know, you burn on your skin in a certain spot and it's sore all day long. That might be a reason for chemtrails. Chills, convulsions, diarrhea, fever, liver failure, metallic taste, muscle aches, nausea, no urine output, pain, shock, vomiting, weakness, yellow eyes, yellow skin. And then we get to iron overdose. Build up of fluid is in the lungs, black or possibly bloody stools, diarrhea, liver damage, metallic taste in mouth, nausea, vomiting blood, dehydration, low blood pressure, fast and weak pulse, shock, chills, coma, convulsions, dizziness, drowsiness, fever, headache, lack of desire to do anything. Oh yeah. Pacify you completely, right? So you don't revolt and go against the system. And now we've got lead. Developing delay, developmental delay, learning difficulties, irritability, loss of appetite, weight loss, sluggishness and fatigue, abdominal pain, vomiting, constipation, hearing loss. And babies have difficulties in learning and slowed growth. And in adults, it's high blood pressure, abdominal pain, constipation, joint pains, muscle pains, decline in mental functioning, pain, numbness or tingling of extremities, headache, memory loss, mood disorders. Memory loss, well, that goes along with the Alzheimer's and the aluminum, so maybe they are making a connection, these two, and enhancing the effect of it. Mood disorders, yeah, people are really moody, and we see that on YouTube, how people react to each other instead of just helping each other out, how disgusting it is. Reduced sperm count, abnormal sperm, miscarriage or premature birth in pregnant women. As I have said a million times to you, they want to kill you, meaning they want to depopulate the entire planet. So why not put that in the chemtrails, so make sure you don't have a good sperm count or you miscarriage, and we have a lot of that. And it's actually staggering numbers of reduced sperm counts there is in men today. It is merely luck if a man impregnate a woman today. That's how bad it is. And then we got manganese, which is also again going to the reproduction or procreation program. This is also damaging your ability to actually manganese bore malformed offspring significantly more often compared to controls. It affects also the fertility. Then we have nickel toxicity. We have, here it says here, respiratory tract problems. It just goes on and on. We have an explosion of allergic asthma, pulmonosis, meaning problems breathing. We got problems with our bronchus and our sinus gland. So here again we are under serious attack. And last one, zinc, body pain, burning sensation, chills, collapse, convulsions, cough, fever, low blood pressure, metallic taste in mouth, no urine output, rash, shock, shortness of breath, vomiting, watery or bloody diarrhea, yellow eyes or yellow skin, and seek immediately help if that is the case. Yeah, there's a lot of people that is going to the doctor and they're getting something that will give them suicide thoughts or other nasty side effects. We see them on TV all the time, how they are telling people that you might need this product, you might need this product, and that could be some adverse side effects with these products that they are selling us. So we should actually, or where are the doctors in this? Are you all in for the money instead of what is in for helping the patient? I guess it's like that. You are disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But as I have said a million times, they want to kill us. God bless you.
Okay, here is that calculator I was telling you about. Alright, let's go ahead and spell it out. See what it comes up with. M-O-S-A-N-T-O. Interesting, no?
So let's start with aluminum, and we can already see there, and they whine about CO2, right? Yeah. Well, let's start with aluminum and see what kind of what symptoms are. Confusion, muscle weakness, bone pain, deformities and fractures, seizures, speech problems, slow growth in children. Complication may include lung problems, nervous system problems causing difficulty in voluntary and involuntary actions, bone disease, body cleansing. Aluminum is, even if it's oxidated, still conductive electrically, which means we are a battery and our nervous system are functioning with the help of electricity. We are an electric body, and they make short circuits in our brain. And aluminum oxide have the hardness on the mole scale in people, even in young people. That people that is only 30 years old, they contract Alzheimer's, which is it's a newer disease, and it's actually man-made disease. It is destroying the nervous system. Aluminum oxide, which is very, very difficult for the human body to break down. It is actually impossible for the human body to break down. It can only be excreted by extended. Hey YouTube. Well, we've been talking a lot about chemtrails, which is just contrails, right? But analysis of the air, and if you look upon the patterns which is used in the so-called aerosol spraying of our atmosphere, you will find that these ingredients are found in air samples, and this is the toxicity, or what is above what is supposedly to be a natural exposure to these elements, which is all metals. It's brain diseases, disorders, anemia, impaired iron absorption. Iron absorption is very key for your bloodstream in order for you to get the right amount of oxygen to your cells in your body. Also known that nervous system problems causing difficulty in voluntary or involuntary actions. Here I'm talking about Alzheimer's, which is associated with an accumulation of aluminum, which is on an explosive rate